second by Ms. Tristan. Any questions?
Yeah, Ms.
Yep.
Mayor, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Ms. Krennick, go ahead.
I'm a little concerned about the way and method the replacement of all of our boards and commissions are being handled. And I understand that it's the prerogative of the mayor to appoint and recommend people for boards and commissions under our charter, and I certainly appreciate that. But it's also the province of council to approve those appointments. And essentially what we're doing in a lot of this is we're doing a wholesale wiping the slate clean and putting a lot of new people, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but the manner in which it was handled is not necessarily something that I think we want to set as a precedent for the city. And that being that our current volunteers were not notified or given the courtesy to let them know that, hey, thank you for your service, until very late in the day today with a letter that was dated July 17th. A lot of them found out because it was posted on the internet when the agenda went up. And I just, I want to make sure we give deference to all of our volunteers, new, old, people who've worked for a long time, because we're a city that came from not having very many volunteers at all, and the city was constantly having to go out and beg and scrape and get volunteers and people to step up and give their time. And some of the council members here know that that was very much a reality when we were just a young city headed down this road. But this wholesale change is a shock to the system. And it doesn't pay any deference to the institutional knowledge that we've gained in each of these boards or commissions, or the continuity of moving forward. More importantly, specifically for planning and zoning on Resolution 313, we have everyone with an exact same term. And so it's just a continual shock to the system. And I recognize that the ordinance was written that way, but if you look at all of our other boards and commissions, they're staggered terms. And I think that's a responsible way to do it, so that you have continuity and overlap, and you're not just constantly shocking the system and basically, potentially, putting the city at a standstill when handling business. So with that said, looking at our past process of how we put volunteers on committees, we asked everyone to submit a volunteer application, which was uploaded to council so we could review that. And in recent months, when you were also a counselor with us, we kind of held the standard that we didn't want to cross-pollinate or multiple people being on multiple committees, because there were a lot of volunteers. There's a whole bank of volunteer applications for people to choose from that can bring experience to the city. A lot of these applications I have not had an opportunity to review, because they have been sent to each council member within the last 48 hours, at least to my knowledge. I don't know when they were turned in, but they weren't released to us. And we've made votes historically in the past where we've said we're not going to seat council members on commissions. We're not going to seat someone who's already on one or two different commissions. We want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to serve the city. And I just think that without time to review these applications, we can't make an informed decision on who we're putting on there. These could be very qualified individuals, and some of them I know and some of them I don't know, and some of them I had no resource to go to, and we didn't have an opportunity, at least I didn't have an opportunity to go into, and a lot of people who are currently serving that are being replaced can attest to the fact that I probably picked up the phone or asked them if I had questions about their application that wasn't fully laid out. And a lot of people fill out extremely thorough applications and give a very good synopsis of what services and what strengths they can bring to the city. And I just think moving forward, if we're going to continue to be a great city, we need to stick to a clear and consistent methodology in putting people and volunteers on these positions and these council or these commissions and boards.
Tricia, I have to differ with you on one thing. Sorry.
Let me speak to that. I appreciate your opinion. I respect your opinion. I am given the authority by the charter to make changes to all the committees. That is what's being done here. It was nothing personal on any standard of that. I do apologize that a lot of these applications were given to you as of late. I don't take that personally as my fault. I think it's the fault of the city's website. A lot of these people had submitted applications far in advance, and by hitting submit, they thought they were submitted. Some of the individuals were out on vacation, and they just returned back today, and we had to ask them to fill out an application based on we did not receive it. the city, and they said, well, we submitted it. You know, our website did not allow that button that says submit to actually take it and be submitted to the city. So that's a fault of our website. So that's some of the reasons some of these things are given as of late. Also, a lot of these decisions were last minute given to Mr. Snipes on Friday before the packets went out. So some of those were, I didn't actually see that we needed all the amount of members on each committee, and so I didn't fill each position until I found out that by resolution that almost all of them had to have that amount of people. And so I was actually late on getting some of those into them, and from that point we made those changes and got those to them. I appreciate your opinion. I've sat on this council long enough to know that there's always been changes, and sometimes we didn't get the names until the day of when we sat here at the council meeting and opened up our packet, and there was those names finally presented to us. So you have the option. There is a motion made by Mr. Murdoch and a second by Ms. Tristan to approve these. If you wish not to approve, you have that choice in your vote, and I appreciate your opinion.
Well, and I appreciate that, Mayor. I just think that we need a clear, consistent, transparent, and fair process in doing this, and this is very rushed, and I don't think that there's anything when we're trying to make quality decisions for the city that should be rushed.
I would like to say that, and I totally agree with those sentiments. I too, I found out that I'm currently serving on Development Corp A. I found out, actually got a phone call from Mayor Kirkendall on Saturday morning letting me know that I was going to be basically removed from Development Corp A. I picked up my packet lunchtime from City Hall and confirmed it. And I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt by thinking, okay, well, the mayor is basically removing me as a city council member because I am a city council member, and he's taken the position that city council members shouldn't sit on boards and committees. So I would applaud that, because I happen to agree with that position. There's enough volunteers in the city of Fulshear now that I don't think it's necessary, as it has been in the past, for city council members to have to sit on boards and commissions. So that was my initial impression, but then as I started to move through the nominations, I could see that Ms. Ridge was still on Parks Commission. I think she's still probably on the Sign Commission, although there's no mention about what you're doing with respect to the Sign Commission, so I presume nothing. Committee, sorry. So, yeah, the manner in which it was done, I got a number of phone calls during the course of this weekend from people who have given a lot of time and service to this city, and I'm very grateful for the time and service that they've given, and this city is definitely in their debt. And to be treated in this way, frankly, is frankly disrespectful. And so I'm very disappointed by that. I was personally disappointed too. I have not yet received an explanation as to why I'm being removed from Development Corp A. I'll give you the opportunity in a couple of minutes to give me an explanation. But as I said, I thought it might be because we're going to not have council members on boards and committees. The manner in which it was done, not acceptable. I am concerned about the lack of loss of experience and institutional knowledge, because, I mean, across the board, many of these names I don't recognize, shame on me, but frankly, I got the applications today, and I have been in meetings all day long. I did not get the opportunity to read those meetings today, so I had not had the opportunity to learn about the people that you've nominated. I'm also surprised at the comments where you say that they tried to submit it to the website, but it didn't accept it, so you had to ask them today to submit their applications. So I wonder on what criteria you're actually selecting people if you didn't have an application to read. Maybe it's through personal knowledge, and judging by the nominations, it is through personal knowledge. I understand politics, and I get it, and you're absolutely right. You have the prerogative to select the various candidates for City Council, and for these committees, and City Council then has to take a vote on it. I would like to make a nomination, a motion that we defer this item to the next council meeting, give you the opportunity to rethink this now.
Again,
I would like to also speak. When I received the list on Friday, I think I commissions, and they told me that the city was emailing them on Friday. I'm sorry to the volunteers on those commissions if that wasn't done on Friday. I was told would happen. I appreciate all of their service. Anyone I didn't know since Friday, since we did have the digital copy in Dropbox, I either contacted that person or called Mayor Roberts or CJ to see information, because I don't recognize the name either, to find out information on these people. And, you know, I think that Mayor Roberts does have the right to keep this list, and we have to trust him for the people that he chose.
I would like to speak to, I understand the city charter and the mayor having the right to choose individuals in which he trusts to fill on these commissions. I'd like to call out on 4A. I know Bill Archer and J.D. Collins, those two I know have done a great job, and I'd like to call out, I would like to see them continue their service on 4B. Larry Bowstring, Joe Douglas, Parker Knapp. I don't, the methodology on how new people were picked, I'm not sure about, but I kind of, in my mind, related it to kind of like George W. Bush having a cabinet and a new president coming in, having new people advising him. That's kind of what the new mayor has done. But at the same time, when I kind of balance it on the local level, to offset these, stagger these people, because some of these people have been doing this for years. Some of these people have their heart and their devotion is into these, and I get that. And this is, when I saw this one, I really feel like that my 2 months on council, this has been the hardest, most difficult piece to really decide upon. And I've talked to several individuals over the last 3 or 4 days. There's people out there that, yeah, they deserve to know why I feel like that they were chosen not to, why they were chosen to be replaced. But our difference in opinion is going to happen from time to time, and on some of these I'm totally on par with, and some of these I'm not. But I just wanted to make that statement.
I appreciate everybody's statements. To the members that I've asked to be replaced, it was nothing personal. Any part of that, I appreciate everybody's volunteerism to the city of Fulshear. I think we are where we are because volunteers have had a major role in putting us into that position. Just like what Mr. Murdoch said, it's basically, now that I am in a position as mayor, I've always had a lot of people that wanted to volunteer and came up to me directly and wanted to be on committees and be in, they wanted to know how they can get involved in the city and asked to be on different committees. Based on that, I've made changes to a lot of the committees on that. Nothing personal with Mr. Gill and being on the court that he was on, but I had individuals that were asked that like to be on the EDC board, so I made the decision. I know it's probably not the most popular one with everybody, but those decisions are made, and you as a council have that right to vote on my recommendations based on my recommendations. So with that being said, we do have a motion on the floor, and we do have a second. And
Mayor, with all due respect, I have one more comment. You said that you just made a statement that you talked to these people, you reviewed their applications, and I respect that you probably have personal relationships with most everyone you put on these committees, and I'm not quibbling with that, nor am I quibbling with your right to put them on there. But it's not fair or even accurate to say that you reviewed these applications before, because some of these weren't even submitted. In fact, most of these weren't submitted until the 16th, between the 16th and the 19th, and some of them even came in today.
as I probably will state to you now, I never said that I reviewed everybody's application. Some of them just came in this evening.
And
I
some
know
of them
a lot
we
of
don't
these,
have applications.
and like I said, I know a lot of these people personal that asked to be on these committees, and I chose them based on my knowledge of who they are and what they could bring to the city. And so that's where a lot of I base my decision making on. And so, like I said, you have that opportunity to either approve or not approve. based on that to move along. We have a motion, we have a second.
Should
We
we
have a-
also have people that have been sitting on committees for years that have never filled out an application? There are plenty of people that sat on a committee or commission for 6 years and they just got their application in today. And many times we received the names the evening of the city council meeting with no application.
And on those 3 occasions that we did that, the council did not vote them in, did not go forward because they wanted an opportunity. And all I'm saying is that the process should be clear, fair, equal, and transparent. And it should be consistent above all things, just like our communications with our citizens. That's all I'm saying, and that's my point. And this was not a consistent process. It does not follow our previous protocols, if that's what we want to rely on, a historical analysis of how we do this.
We don't have a previous protocol.
Well, again, with all due respect, we do, because we have appointed people to boards and commissions in the past, and we have made decisions, as some of us together have said, no, we're not going to accept that person because they already sat on a different committee. No, we're not going to accept that person because we got their application late. Or we want time to correct that, and we can go through our minutes to verify that that is in fact what our actions were.
Sometimes.
I'd like to make a motion that we postpone this item to the next city council meeting, so that the mayor has an opportunity to repeat this.
Unfortunately, I don't think because we have a pending motion, you have to either amend it or,
We currently have a motion and a second into that. I'll call for a vote to approve Resolution 2016-313. All those in favor by saying aye. Any opposed?
nay.
Nay.
We have 2 nays, 3 ayes. That motion passes. All right. Moving to item O, consideration and possible action to approve it. Resolution 2016-314, a resolution of the city of Fulshear creating a historic preservation and museum committee.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Ms. Tristan to approve. We have a second by Ms. Ridge. Any questions?
Again, Mayor, I just resubmit my comments that I made applicable to Resolution 313, and I don't want to regurgitate them.
So noted. Thank you.
But we do have missing applications on this and applications that are not signed.
And you want to make comment to which ones those are?
No, the council has their packet.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Being none, call for a vote. All those in favor by saying aye. All those. Aye. Those opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
3 ayes, 2 nays. That item passes. Moving to item P, consideration and possible action to approve resolution number 2016-315, resolution of the city of Fulshear appointing members to the city's Parks and Recreation Commission.
Motion to approve resolution 2016.
We have a motion by Ms. Tristan to approve. Do we have a second?
This one, I had a little heartburn over, because
We have a motion. Do
Oh, I'm sorry.
we take a second? With no second, that item dies to the lack of a second. Moving to item Q, consideration and possible action to approve resolution 2016-316, resolution of the city of Fulshear appointing members to the city's 4A Development Corporation.
Mayor, I'd reassert my same comments as to Resolution 313, 314, and 315.
So noted. We have a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2016-316.
A motion by Ms. Tristan to approve. Do we have a second? A second by Ms. Ridge. Any other questions? Being none, call for a vote. All those in favor by saying aye. Those opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Yep. 3 nays. That item fails. 3 nays, 2 ayes. Consideration and possible action on item R to approve resolution 2016-317, Resolution of the City of Fulshear appointing members to the city's 4B Development Court.
So,
I have a motion by Ms. Tristan,
we
second.
combined the RNs.
Yes, and if council would, we did combine R and S back together, so we'll take that as one motion.
Can I ask a question?
We have a motion first on the floor, if anyone would like a second.
We can discuss.
Anybody second?
Is this on 4B?
This is on 4B, item R and S together. We have a motion, do we have a second? Being no second, item R and S die for lack of a motion. Moving to item T, consideration and possible action to approve the interlocal agreement between the city of Fulshear and the Texas Municipal League